Did you know that Fort Wayne was rated top 10 in the United States? But it was rated top 10 for what? The most boring cities. Our group is here to fix that. We're here to present our pitch, Amazing Race Group. So guidelines. The teams must be in groups of 2 to 4. Ages must be 10 and up. Our end goal is to promote Fort Wayne and make it more interesting. And we also have a waiver and a liability form to show that if they were to get hurt or injured, that we would not be liable. For transportation, we decided to use CityLink. We got a hold of them and requested if they could make special stops for us, seeing that it's a big event. But unfortunately, they said that they would not be able to do that. We are also going to use Pedal City, which is just biking, and that's $30 an hour. And we are also going to use the best thing, our 2 legs.
Sounds like you.
Okay, so this is our map of all of our destinations, labeled 1 through 12, not including Fox Island because that is our end destination.
We chose Headwaters Park because it's one of the most natural and economical places that we have here in Fort Wayne. It's economical because it takes a lot of money to keep it clean and to keep it running through the spring and the summer. But our mental task that we would have to do there is we would make the teams of 2 or 4 people make a table for an event that could or might take place at one of the pavilions downtown. And then our physical task is that we will break a clue into 6 different pieces and hide them around the park, and the teams will have to go find all 6 pieces to move on.
Old Fort, I feel like it's the most historical part of Fort Wayne because Anthony Lane. So he's like our founder of Fort Wayne, so this would be so important to learn and get a feeling of when he lived there, how it felt like to live back here back in the day. Our physical will be each team will get a number of 10 arrows. They'll get a bow, and there's 8 targets. You get 2 extra arrows in case you miss, and they'll have to hit all the targets, and if you miss, then you'll just have to wait until the other teams are finished. And our mental task is teams will get instructions on how to assemble and clean a rifle, and they'll get 10 minutes to look at the instructions, and once that's over, then they'll have 30 minutes to complete the task.
The art museum was chosen because it's a very rare and nice place to be at, and from many comments that people have made on the website TripAdvisor, it is worth all the money that they pay to get inside, even though it's small, but it's worth the time and the money that you spent there. And our physical task is that they would have to draw a painting and then take it inside for them to grade and see what they would get. They would have to get a good grade to move on. And then our mental task is that they would have to remember a painting that they saw inside and make it and put it together from puzzle pieces that would be outside. Then the courthouse was chosen because it's a very cultural and a nice place to be in. It might be difficult to get in, but once inside, it like changes your mood and you feel the power. And our physical, there we would only do a deep roadblock, and the teams will have to go inside, get their next clue, and move on. The Lincoln Tower is a very curious place to be in because there's many histories or stories of the Lincoln Tower, and sometimes they're told and we don't know if they're fact or non-fact. But a physical test that they would have to do there is they would have to go up 7 flights of story of the building and find their next clue. And their mental task, they would have to go inside, sign a release sheet, and then take a picture of one of the 2 paintings inside the Lincoln Tower, go into the candy shop, remember their favorite candy that they saw in there, and go outside to the person that has the next clue and tell them their candy and show them the picture.
So next we have the MC Theater. The Embassy Theater has been a Fort Wayne attraction for many years. It also used to be a movie place and a vaudeville house, which I think is very interesting. For the physical task, they will have to create a show and present it to a small audience. The show will have to consist of singing, dancing, or miming, and the theme of the show has to relate to previous shows that happened at the Embassy Theater. For a mental task, they will have to memorize a light pattern, and they will repeat that light pattern within 30 seconds.
Okay, so our next destination is Parkview Field. And this is a field where they have gift shops, fountains, baseball games, basically anything you would want you can do with your friends and family. The physical task would be they would have to make fast food and sell it to the customers. If they like it, they'll get to move on. And the mental task is the teams will have to memorize the field and then make a blueprint of it without reassuring by looking back at it.
Our next place is Coney Island. Coney Island has been in Fort Wayne for 100 years. And even though time has changed throughout generations, most people say that Coney Island has changed us. So we decided to go with the roadblock for Coney Island, and what they will have to do is they will have to learn how to make the Coney dogs. They will have to make 25 Coney dogs within a certain amount of time, and if they do not finish, they will have to start.
Science Central will be our next location. Science Central is also historical and educational. If you've ever been there, you know the tubes everywhere is because it used to be an electricity plant way back then. And our physical task will be each team member, one team member will have to go through the dark tunnel. Wait, no. Our physical task will be each member will have to go around on the high road bike. And once everybody goes around, then they'll get their next thing to go on. And the mental task will be one of the team members will have to go through the dark tunnel, and there'll be a clue hidden in there, which they'll have to retrieve. And once they retrieve it, then the rest of the team members can go through the tunnel and go on to the next task.
Okay, so our next destination is the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. This was made as a World War II memorial, but now they have shows and sports games there. If you go outside, you can see an airplane from World War II. And the physical task, the teams will have to wait till the Comets ice field is up and get ice skates, and they will catch a toy car that is riding around on the ice. And the mental task is they will have to memorize a performance and perform it on the ice with safety equipment, of course. But they will perform it on the ice, and then there will be toy cars also driving under them, trying to knock them over. If they fall over, they must restart, but if they don't, then they can pass.
And Fort Wayne Children's Zoo will be the next. Did you guys know that the reason why most people come to visit Fort Wayne is to go to the zoo? Our zoo is ranked number 5 out of the zoos in America. And our physical task will be that the team will have to clean out the goat pens, kind of get them cleaning out the zoo. And then the mental task will be each team will get a list. The list will all be different in different orders of the animal pens that they have to go. And each animal pen will have a puzzle piece that when they go back to the beginning, to the start of where they started at, they'll have to put together a puzzle to pass.
Okay, so our next destination is the Brands Chocolate Factory. The Brands is a nice place to visit because they have chocolate for kids to adults, from toy cars to pennies to just chocolate if they want to give it to someone for Valentine's Day or just because they can. And the physical task is they will have to sell chocolate at the Brands and advertise, and if they make enough profit, they'll get to move on. But the mental task is they will have to memorize how they make the chocolate in the factory and then make it again. If they mess up, they must restart. If they don't, and then they sell it to people and they like it, they can move on.
Fox Island is just our finish line. There isn't gonna be no detour, nothing there. It's just our finish line, and it's a beautiful place to finish at, and it's very geographical.
So the next time you think of Fort Wayne, remember, we're ranked top 10 for the most boring cities. Our team is here to fix that.
Nice work.